Jeffrey Hunter reveals his secret relationships with gay old Hollywood actors on November 25, 1926, in New Orleans, Louisiana. Henry Herman McKinney Jr. was born, who is better known as Jeffrey Hunter. After his family relocated to Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the 1930s, Hunter spent his childhood there. He showed a strong work ethic and an early passion for the theater. He moved from the Midwest to the bright lights of Hollywood, where his acting career would take off and leave an unforgettable impression. Hunter was a drama major at Whitefish Bay High School and went on to study theater at Northwestern University, widely considered to be the best school in the country for young performers. There, he worked with renowned teachers to perfect his skill, learning the ins and outs of classical and modern theatrical performance. During World War II, he proudly served as a radar technician for the United States Navy, which momentarily interrupted his study. He returned to school after serving his country and eventually graduated from Northwestern with a degree in radio and speech. A subsequent decision to pursue graduate studies at UCLA placed him smack dab in the middle of the film business during the golden age of cinema and television. Major studios were looking for new faces to usher in a new era of cinematic excellence for post-war audiences when Jeffrey Hunter broke into Hollywood. In 1950, he was recruited to a contract by 20th Century Fox because to his attractive, well-groomed physique and vivid blue eyes. As a young actor, he made cameo appearances in films including 14 Hours, 1951, and Call Me Misters, 1951. However, his talent and personality were quickly recognized, and he was put in more important roles. The Searchers, a 1956 Western masterpiece by John Ford starring Hunter and the late, great John Wayne, was one of Hunter's most critically appreciated performances. Acting as Martin Polly, an adoptive nephew who embarks on a year-long mission to free his abducted cousin. The picture is frequently regarded as one of the best in the genre, and Hunter added emotional depth and subtle intensity to it. His portrayal of Wayne in such a nuanced story cemented his status as a versatile, charismatic, and serious actor. Hunter had yet another professional high point in 1961 when he played the role of Jesus Christ in Nicholas Ray's biblical epic King of Kings. The part was a blessing and a curse all at once. Some critics and viewers wondered if his matinee idol appearance was too shocking for the sacred part, even though it displayed his talent for conveying peaceful solemnity and spiritual intensity. Regardless, Hunter gave a performance that was full of emotion and genuineness, and its grace and kindness are still admired today. It is still one of his most famous pieces, and it gained a devoted following over the years, particularly around religious holidays. Despite these notable parts, Hunter struggled in the mid-1960s to demonstrate his range and escape typecasting, which hurt his career. He appeared in both military pictures No Man's Island 1962 and science fiction Dimension Theft 1966 throughout his career. He was also quite successful when he tried his hand at television. His trailblazing portrayal as Captain Christopher Pike in the 1965 Star Trek pilot, The Cage, established him as a member of one of the most renowned science fiction franchises of all time. Even though NBC passed on the pilot and Hunter was let go from the series, his portrayal of Pike is now firmly entrenched in Star Trek canon, and his take on the character has been celebrated in subsequent spin-offs and revivals. In his private life, Jeffrey Hunter had a string of major relationships and family obligations that followed the same trajectory as his profession in Hollywood. During a pivotal period in his life and profession, he tied the knot for the first time. Barbara Rush was an accomplished actress who, like Hunter, was becoming a star in Hollywood in the early 1950s when the couple tied the knot in December 1950. Glamorous and representative of the Hollywood ideal of domesticity during their time, the two young stars were frequently seen as a pair. When they were married, the media took notice. In 1952, they had a boy, Christopher, and that was their only child. The responsibilities of film production, along with Hunter's rising acting career, which included parts in notable films like 1956, The Searchers, The Pressures of Fame, and Constant Travel, probably put a lot of pressure on the marriage. The couple's divorce in 1955 followed 5 years of marriage and received widespread media attention because of the couple's shared celebrity status, despite the fact that they had both worked in the entertainment industry. 2 years following his split from Rush, Hunter wed again in 1957. His new bride, the beautiful and elegant fashion model Dusty Bartlett, has a son named Steele from a previous marriage. Hunter showed great commitment and responsibility when he adopted Steele, creating a mixed family that would expand over time. Jeffrey and Dusty had 2 more kids, Todd and Scott. After that, they kept up what appeared to be a happy and loving family life for 10 years, from 1957 to 1967. In the period between his film ventures, Hunter was frequently spotted taking pleasure in parenting. His friends and family remembered him as a devoted parent who took an active interest in his kids' education, and he often talked in interviews about how important it is to be involved as a parent. But much like other marriages impacted by the fame trap and the unpredictability of the entertainment industry, they were married for 10 years before their relationship began to deteriorate, leading to their 1967 divorce. Hunter was looking for security and companionship in his personal life. Even after his second marriage ended, he wed actress Emily McLaughlin for a second time in February 1969, barely 3 months before his tragic and untimely death. Among McLaughlin's many accomplishments in the television industry was her lengthy tenure as General Hospital's nurse Jessie Brewer. Their brief marriage was a bittersweet ending to Hunter's life story. He was trying to revitalize his acting career at the time of his union by juggling roles in international films and television shows. Their brief time together was tragically ended in May 1969 by Hunter's untimely death. His marriage to McLaughlin was brief, but apparently joyful. Friends of the couple said that Hunter seemed comfortable and optimistic about his career and personal future. Near the end of his brief but brilliant life, Jeffrey Hunter, renowned for his jaw-dropping good looks, intense blue eyes, and starring roles in films such as King of Kings and The Searchers, quietly confided in a close friend and biographer about the private relationships he had diligently concealed from the public during the most oppressive period in Hollywood. During a time when being gay was not only socially unacceptable but could also ruin a person's professional life, Hunter kept his private life a closely guarded portion of his identity. Within this compartment, he experienced profound sadness, found solace in the company of those who understood his struggle, and experienced profound emotion. The insider claims that Hunter admitted to having secret relationships with other famous actors in the 50s and 60s, guys who likewise had secret lives beyond the dazzling picture they presented on film. Anthony Perkins, the mysterious and gloomy lead from Psycho, was supposedly one of the names Hunter brought up. Hunter was allegedly captivated by Perkins' modest charisma and anxious energy during a party hosted by director Nicholas Ray in the mid-1950s, when the two first crossed paths. Their connection, as Hunter put it, was brief but profound. He supposedly stated that we were both terrified. Even touching felt hazardous, so we talked more than touched. Reportedly, Perkins expressed in Hunter his fear of being exposed and losing all he had accomplished, given his lengthy history of clandestine same-sex liaisons. The relationship between them was characterized by mutual understanding, tempered by the unending pressure of societal condemnation. Tab Hunter, no relation, was another name whispered in Hunter's confession. Tab Hunter Confidential, the autobiography of the blonde movie star and box office sensation, detailed his personal battles with his sexuality. At Warner Brothers, where they were both contracted and severely typecast as romantic leads. A mutual agent supposedly introduced the two, according to Jeffrey. The roles they desired but were denied, the lives they fantasized about but were unable to truly experience. And their common disappointments brought them together. Although their relationship was shorter lived than his with Perkins, Jeffrey characterized it as a rare time I could breathe. Due to the increased physical intimacy, Rebel Without a Cause co-star and unstable young actor Sal Mineo was supposedly Hunter's third identified figure. Hunter and Mineo established an unexpected bond, despite the fact that Mineo was much younger than Perkins and Tab. They became closer after meeting on a charity initiative in 1962, when they were just friends. He possessed an intrepid spirit that frightened me. According to the biographer, Hunter reportedly stated, reportedly, Mineo pursued Hunter with passion and honesty. He would subsequently become one of the few performers to be more forthright about his bisexuality in the 1970s. Their brief affair had a lasting impact on Hunter. Unlike the rest of us, he wasn't very covert. He continued by saying that maybe that was the reason for Mineo's untimely demise, the terrible price that being unconventional in the Hollywood system may incur. Despite their secrecy, these relationships were significant parts of Jeffrey Hunter's personal life. He was never given the opportunity to live openly as a bisexual man, if that was actually his self-perception. The company of other men who shared his burden of secrecy, nevertheless, brought him comfort. No matter how sincere or calculated his marriages to Barbara Rush and Dusty Bartlett were, Hunter, like many of his contemporaries, confined himself to the narrow confines of public expectation, even as his soul sought a deeper truth in private. His willingness to quietly bring these guys to light, even in his latter years, suggests a yearning for candor and maybe an attempt to make amends for a wrong he never had the chance to rectify. Jeffrey Hunter went to Spain in November 1968 to start filming Cry Chicago, which was later released as Viva America in certain regions. It was to be his last feature picture. As a result of the global appeal of gangster dramas, the film's brutal underbelly, the Chicago Mafia, was the focus of this ambitious international production. Tragically, Hunter was involved in an unanticipated accident while filming this action thriller set in Europe and partly financed by Spanish producers. The film had promised brutal action scenes and high drama. Tragic events occurred during the production of a scenario involving a well-staged automobile explosion. The visual drama of the moment was enhanced by the fireworks put inside a car window close Hunter, which simulated an outward burst. Unfortunately, the location or timing of the special effects was off. The intended outward shattering of glass and explosive force instead sent them hurtling in the direction of Hunter, who happened to be standing nearby. He was badly hurt and left bewildered by the explosion. The power of the explosion and the possibility that glass fragments and other debris hit him exacerbated his severe concussion. Hunter, ever the professional, completed his duties on the project despite the seriousness of the occurrence. However, his neurological and physical health was already declining. His third wife, the actress Emily McLaughlin, whom he wed in February 1969, claims that on the plane back to America, Hunter displayed concerning symptoms. His going into shock throughout the flight was something she remembered with great worry. His demeanor shifted significantly. He lost almost all ability to communicate verbally and physically. The trauma his brain had endured manifested itself in these early and concerning ways. Good Samaritan Hospital admitted Hunter the moment he returned to Los Angeles. In order to assess the severity of his injuries, the attending physicians performed thorough examinations. Except for two crucial discoveries, they were taken aback to see no significant or potentially fatal damage: a dislocated vertebra and a concussion, the latter of which might have delayed or unpredictable effects, all of which likely contributed to his overall weakness and inability to move around. He was given the all-clear and told to rest and recover. But the medical staff had no idea what was ahead. Not until the afternoon of May 26, 1969, some months later, did something terrible happen. Hunter passed out unexpectedly as he descended a staircase at his residence in the Van Nuys area of Los Angeles. As a devastating and long-lasting consequence of his previous head injury, he had experienced a tremendous intracranial hemorrhage. He fractured his skull as he collapsed after a second blow to the head. Apologies for the delay in getting him to Valley Presbyterian Hospital. He was found unconscious and unresponsive at his house not long after that, likely by a family member or neighbor. Physicians moved swiftly. The hemorrhage had produced considerable edema and pressure, so emergency brain surgery was attempted to alleviate it. Nevertheless, the damage was too great. The following morning, on May 27, 1969, at around 9:30 a.m., Jeffrey Hunter died despite all attempts to preserve him. Just 42 years old was he. Both his colleagues and fans were shocked by his passing. He was a promising young actor, beloved for his chiseled features and warm personality, who had starred in westerns and biblical epics. Tragically, he passed away too soon. Those who knew and loved Hunter, as well as his friends and former co-stars, came at St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Van Nuys on May 31, 1969, to pay their respects to the man whose career had been defined by sullen professionalism, magnetic on-screen presence, and modesty. His grief was felt by Emily McLaughlin, who was a star on General Hospital at the time. His tomb at Sylmar, California's Glen Haven Memorial Park, has become a peaceful memorial for those who loved his work and cherished classic films. After he was laid to rest there, actors performing in physically demanding parts confront hidden risks, and his untimely death, caused by an on-set accident and later medical complications, serves as a somber reminder of that.